System starting up.
Live. Welcome to another episode of Technical Defects. I am your host, Joe Ridgely, and my special guest this evening for the second appearance, which is a first on the show, just so you know, Derek Dennis Herbert, who is the director, producer, president, creator of Masterfully Macabre. I know how to say it this time. So how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very happy that the movie is out everywhere now. Finally, people are able to see it. We still have some. I think we're still finishing out our run for our California viewers in Santa Ana right now, and then I'm hoping to get some cool updates as far as like some potential new film festivals too. That's something I've been working on as well as just getting all the things people. All their deliveries if they if they were one of our Indiegogo people. We've shipped all of that stuff out now as far as the movie goes, and we're working on those last remaining elements, including the vinyl records, the VHSs, and the books and the CD soundtracks. So that's kind of what I've been working on in addition to promoting this movie, and I'm very happy and proud of everything we were able to do with it and the disc that we're delivering.
Now, the last time you were on, you weren't able to disclose what added features were on the Blu-ray. Can you do that now?
Yeah. There's quite a bit. We have over 90 minutes of bonus footage, including scenes of extended interviews about Kane's burn and the recovery of that. A lot to do with the fact that what his mother would do to help him recover from that situation. We go into a lot of other career elements, including a whole special feature on Friday the 13th, extended stories on 7, a lot about Part 8, because in the movie we barely touch on 8 just because there wasn't as much like personal stories to Kane in that one. So we ended up doing a really cool, but we had it edited, so we wanted to include that, and that was the bonus features. A lot more on 9, more on Jason X, some on the video game, a lot more on Hatchet and some of the other movies that Kane's been a part of, like Old 37. Just like 90 minutes more about his childhood, because in the film we talk about him growing up in Kwajalein, but in between Kwajalein and moving back to Sparks, Nevada, he lived in Ofu in American Samoa as well. And so we dive into a lot of those stories about him being there and watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's grandfather fight on like the TV. And then later on, he ended up meeting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at an event and telling him about that. And he thought it was the coolest thing ever, that he would watch his grandfather with this American Samoans in American Samoa on this little TV in the schoolhouse and stuff. So we go into all those kind of stories. And I really like to say to people, like, this, I love the movie as is, but if you really want, and that way you can get it anywhere on VOD everywhere. But if you want a little more, if you want about another 90 minutes of edited footage that goes further into his career and further into other things, then I will, then I would recommend picking up the Blu-ray, because we put together this edition that has some amazing bonus content on it, and the Blu-ray is the only place to get it.
Nice. All right, I'm just looking at a new feature that we have right now. I could add comments from our viewers. We got Willie, a fan, saying hello. Danny Bailey, I'm assuming you may know them. I don't know if you want to read that or if you want me to read it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's a really cool feature. Hi from Alaska. Is there anything else fans can do to help promote? This turned out so much more amazing than I could ever have imagined. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Danny. But I think just share the post we have, talk about it, review it on Amazon, IMDb, iTunes, anywhere you can buy it, review it. That way we have those positive reviews so that people who are just scrolling through, plus a lot of it's metric based now, where if they notice there's a lot of great reviews and a lot of views on that product, they might be more willing to put us to the front of the pages. We might be able to get to be one of the top sellers in the documentary market on iTunes or Amazon, one of those places. And then that's even more eyes on the product and more people that can get it, as well as just being active. Like very soon, I'm going to be launching a little giveaway / promotional thing. So anyone who's purchased the film will be eligible to win or get something if they share a particular post that I'm currently editing right now.
Wow. And let's see, there's another one here. Hold on a second. You got fans around the world.
Hello, Jared.
Chile.
Oh, I know Christopher. Christopher's a great, he's a Wolfman Horror merch on Facebook and all the platforms, makes amazing masks. I have several in my collection. I have Victor Crowley from Hatchet, like some of the most amazing work that you'll see. I have Jason from Part 7. I have Freddy, and I have one more. I can't. Crypt Keeper. Yeah. So all of those, and they're really high quality stuff. I would definitely recommend checking him out as well.
Crypt Keeper. I need to get that. We had John Cassier on the show. He was an awesome guest.
He's an awesome. I met him while shooting the doc in Indianapolis, and then saw him again in Atlanta and a few other times since. And he's very fun. When we were at Scarefest in Kentucky, he was a hoot at the after party. He was just like dancing and singing, and then occasionally would just like do the Crypt Keeper laugh or do one of his other 1,000 voices that he does.
And who else we have? Well, this one is for you, sir. They're here for you, not me.
All right.
And what else? He also said, I have to share your page on my horror movies. So
now it just froze for me, but let me just keep talking. Let's see. Cool stuff. I just shared the Blu-ray in a group of mine. I'll have to share your page on my horror movies like page. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Every share definitely helps get the movie out to more people, and that is exactly what we want. So thank you, Jeremiah. If you can review it on all those platforms I mentioned, and we can definitely get this thing out to even more people.
I was looking over things. Dread Central. What is the affiliation? I'm kind of confused there. Can you hear me or no? Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Derek, can you hear me?
Let me see.
Uh-oh. You still there? Can you hear me? And what happened? This isn't on my end, folks. Let's see what's going on. He dropped from the broadcast. And we're going to bring him right back.
Sorry about that. I froze, so I didn't want to keep talking and not being able to hear you. So I figured I'd just refresh and get us back up on track.
Let me see if I can get... Nope, it doesn't look like Blake is having any luck as of yet. I just tried to bring him on the show. But all right, let me get your name back up there. And what I was asking about was Dread Central. What's the affiliation?
Well, Dread Central Presents, they own Dread Central and Epic Pictures combined to create this entity called Dread Central Presents. which is the horror label of Epic Pictures. So Dread Central helps curate a lot of the movies, or at least did, and uses the name for a lot of name recognition. As Rob Galuzzo, who worked for Blumhouse and a lot of other people, he still does their podcast Shockwaves over there. He is the director of that label, and it is a great place to be. I mean, we're in great company. The Lodgers was an amazing movie. Same with all the other films so far. Terrifier is about this evil clown who is one of the creepiest looking clowns. Like it gives like the It clown, Pennywise, a run for its money. And then there's Director's Cut, which is Adam Rifkin, who's in our movie. One of his latest films that stars Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller as a villain. And is a very quirky, weird movie. And To Hell and Back, and then a whole bunch of great movies, including a Sleigh Bells, which is a horror Christmas movie. There's like a lot of cool stuff. And I'm very happy to be one of the films and the only documentary so far on the label.
Right on. One thing I noticed within a week and a half, I think, you guys sold out.
Yeah, we sold out of our first run. We now have them back, which is wonderful. And I am hoping that I want to sell out again. So it's a good problem to have if you have to tell people they have to pre-order again and it'll be ready in a week. And they're very good at being able, the distributor that or the company that makes them, that Dread Central Presents uses, is really quick. It's like 7 to 9 days that they can print up another batch.
So did that meet or exceed your expectations? Did you expect to sell out that fast?
I didn't necessarily expect to sell out in less than a week, because it was before we came out on the 13th, and we sold out in less than a week. But I mean, I do expect this movie to do pretty well, because it's Kane Hodder, and he's a huge horror icon, and I'm hoping that it is something that definitely is going to do very well for Kane's career, our careers, and allow us the chance to make many more projects, because we're just getting started.
Awesome. Blake looks like he is actually joining us now. Let me get him into the broadcast. Give me 1 second. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of like a really cool special show, because it is Derek's second appearance on our show, and we're running with a special co-host guest, Blake. Blake, can you hear us?
I can hear you great. Hi, fellas. How are you?
Yeah. So we were talking to Derek about
I think he disappeared, Derek.
I'm here. There we go. How about that?
Better.
All right. Derek, you still there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, Blake, you seeing the film for the first time, what did you think?
I thought that it was something that was absolutely, it's something that needs to be seen by horror fans. It's something that needs to be seen by Friday the 13th fans and fans of Kane's work himself, because it's very down to earth. It's very relatable, very powerful. Music is great. The stories are amazing. Kane is quite the personality to interact with, and his stories, to see him get so emotional during certain parts of it really made it for me, because oftentimes at these conventions we are we're treated well, but people are sometimes apprehensive to want to talk to all of us, but Kane's personality makes it really easy for you to want to just walk up and talk with him.
Nice. And I have a feeling we lost Derek somehow. I'm a little confused. He may be refreshing his screen, and that's booting him out of the conversation. Let me see.
I apologize for the delay. We have it's like tornado weather down here. So.
No worries. I completely understand. You're in the hot seat right now, though, sir. You're solo. Talk to us.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Defects? What's going on?
We'll put the let's see. I'm kind of concerned.
I see that. Yeah.
Kind of concerned about where he went.
I don't know. He was kind of hard to hear, and I don't think it was on my connection this time. I don't know what it was. There was like a really bad delay.
Was there? Okay.
A little bit. It happens.
It does. Well,
it says broadcast layout changed by host. I just saw that. Whatever, if I'm supposed to tell you that I saw that.
Behind the scenes stuff, Blake. Kidding. Don't make me put you on the spot again.
I have no problem being on the spot. You know this. We had a very nice heart-to-heart the other night. So
absolutely, that was good stuff. Let me see what's going on with him. I am going to IM him real fast.
Okay.
Let's see. And again, still trying to learn this program to the fullest.
I like learning on the fly, don't you? No pressure, no pressure.
He's back. Here we go. 1 second. And there he is.
There we go, guys. Sorry about that.
No.
Every time it seems like a change happens, it goes like my internet like freezes and then errors out. Like when you added him in, I didn't see him. And then when it was very weird. But.
So what it boils down to is Derek's telling you nicely, I was the problem.
That is awesome. All right. There, I think I like that configuration a little better. I don't know if you actually heard what Blake said at all. Blake, I hate to make you repeat yourself, but what did you think since you just recently saw the movie? What was your first impression? Your first thoughts?
First, I want to tell Derek, thank you very much. That was quite the adventure watching that this weekend. It was definitely a favorite new feature of mine. I enjoyed it. As somebody that does a lot of these conventions and does a lot of these shows and meets a lot of the people and works with them, I really liked the way that you were able to get into Kane's mind. And allow him to tell the story his own way. Kane is a very interesting person. He's a great personality. He's very kind to his fans, generous. He's got a serious edge about him, but he's got a soft spot for his fans, and I think he showed that in the film. His the emotion that he showed, on certain subjects. It kind of made him way more relatable for a lot of people. And I think this is going to be premiere viewing for somebody that's a fan of Friday the 13th, for anybody that's a fan of Kane's work, and for people that are a fan of good horror in general, because Kane has done a little bit of everything. He's played a lot of the major villains, whether it was Freddy Krueger for a specific scene in a Jason Goes to Hell, or he worked on a Leatherface as a stunt coordinator on the third one, and then you've got Victor Crowley, and Hatchet. He's been around for years and has had a flourishing career, and he never forgets where he came from, and you show that a lot in this, and I really love the layout. It's very powerful.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad it's having the impact it is on people. Even a lot of non-horror people are saying that it's been inspiring them, because if somebody could achieve success in their field, because I always like to think of it too as like, it's sort of like an American dream story in a way. Even if you don't like horror per se, you went from being sort of a non-wealthy person in Sparks to building yourself up to having some success, to having this horrific burn and even worse medical care, and then building yourself back up again to the point where you're the leader in your field. That is, and as well as his thoughts on bullying and perseverance and all that stuff, is definitely something that I'm very happy that people in the genre, I'm very happy they love it, but outside of which as well, it makes me happy that, in some ways he's gaining new fans because they never thought to give some of these movies a chance, but now they're invested in him and invested in the movies that he makes because they love his story.
Absolutely. I mean, and he showed and remarkably well, in the film, triumph through tremendous adversity. I mean, he faced a lot of adversity growing up, and Kane is not somebody you would think would be bullied for anything, but that just goes to show you it makes him more relatable on a level, and it showed some vulnerability for him. He teared, I won't go too much, but there's a lot of emotion that especially talking about the burn and the aftermath of the burn, and it was really powerful, and you just, the way you presented it was, I think that more films should be shot that way. I think that, he has been to hell and back, and now everybody's going to be able to see that. And I'm just very proud of your work, and I hope that we can connect further. It was a pleasure to be able to have the chance to see such a poignant, powerful piece, about a genre in which I've made my career. I mean, all I do is horror. And I, a lot of the people that you featured in that are people that I've, come across or I've worked shows with, and like Robert Englund, he's a friend of mine. He was featured in there. He had some very interesting thoughts about Kane and his career, and it was nice to show that his influence is felt among other horror icons as well. I mean, and that just is a testament to his character and the quality of his work and the quality of his character in general.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions for Derek. How hard was it to get these horror icons to actually come on and spill their guts about him? That was some of the coolest parts of the movie, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was much easier than you would think, I think, to get them to come on, just because they, they love Kane. They're such huge fans of him and his work that the minute we kind of he asked, they jumped on it and they wanted to be a part of it. I mean, Cassandra Peterson she drove in the middle of rush hour across like 2 towns in LA just to shoot this before she jumped on a plane to go visit her mother. Like, that's how, like, she came, and, a lot of the people were like that. She spent way more time than she thought she would. And same with Robert Englund, same with a lot of the other people we interviewed. Felissa Rose was a huge surprise. Like, we didn't know that her and Kane had such a good relationship. But when she came on and she started saying some amazing stuff, the stuff, she says in the film, it was incredible that, I was like, we have to utilize her. Let's ask her more questions. She is a great personality, very fun, but also, obviously she cares about Kane, and she and him have a very good working relationship, at least at the conventions. So it was incredible to get those people.
Well, I got to show this message on there. It's going to... Who's that?
That is my mother.
That is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Got a couple of more comments on here, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Oh, wait, we already did that one. Hold on. Here's the one I was looking for.
The story is life-changing. It leaves you with drive and a gratefulness you didn't have before. Everyone should see this. Well, I hope people do. I hope we get everyone to watch it. I'm still blown away by the fact of how much this movie is meaning to people. Like, I knew that it would be I knew that his story could help people, but the amount of people already we've heard from, in that it's helped them, the amount of people we've heard that were not in a great place, but this movie helped them, be in a better place emotionally or what whatever you might call it. Like, it helped them get through a difficult time in their life, and that's incredible to be the one to make a film like this.
All right, just so we know, my buddy Brian Working from Shockworks TV said there was a delay at one point, so that may have been on my end. I do apologize. And let's see, Martin is saying can't wait to see the film, and we've got George saying hello. So
yeah, the film's available on VOD and Blu-ray, DVD everywhere. And to get the Blu-ray, it's available on Amazon, but it's cheaper if you buy it on Epic Pictures website directly. If you go to their pictures.com, you can get it for $20 versus I think it's about 25 or so on Amazon. So it's, yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm not sure if I saw it on Dread Central or if I saw it on your page or somewhere else. Are there autographed copies available?
We did do autographed copies for we did a signing at Dark Delicacies in Burbank, and we did do signed ones for people who purchased that on Indiegogo. But as of right now, we don't have signed copies on the website available yet. I'm considering it. I'm definitely considering it. I will sign anything for free anyway if somebody wants it. But I'm considering it. It's just, it means that instead of being able to do instead of having the distributor send them out or use their mailing service to send them out, I have to actually get to the post office and package things and get a hold of Kane and have him sign a bunch of them. So if we did have them, they would definitely not be personable, because obviously I'm not going to, or it's just going to be a very long wait because I'm not going to see Kane every time one gets sold. But if people are okay waiting until 20 or 50 are sold, then I might, I'm considering it. I'll leave it at that for now.
I think we lost him, Derek.
Sorry. Okay, so that's one of the problems. When I'm bowing out to try to get you guys in frame alone, then yeah, you're not losing me. I'm just taking control and having you guys speak. I thought you were able to hear me once I'm off screen, though.
No,
so
I also can't right now hear Blake. He's frozen on my end.
Blake is frozen on my end also. Okay. Blake, are you there?
I'm here.
Can you hear him? I can hear him. Oh, yeah. There he is. Oh,
I can hear both of you gentlemen. I don't know what's going on.
Let me see.
Blake, what do you got for Derek?
Can you guys still hear me?
Wow, I thought I got rid of these technical defects when I got this program. And this, the one that cost me a small fortune, so I can do these fun things. Blake, I think you're freezing up, though, buddy. I think that may be your internet. I am not positive.
Oh. I don't know. My internet seems fine.
Oh, okay, you were frozen for a moment.
Oh, I wasn't moving. I just wasn't moving.
You got to do something. So no, I'm kidding. Blake, what do you have for Derek? Because I'm gonna bow out for 1 second while you guys discuss.
If he can hear me.
Can you hear him, Blake or Derek?
I can't hear Blake when it goes to just his screen. He's completely frozen for me.
He's completely frozen. Okay. So
I can try to reload, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
I can still hear you great, Derek. I don't know what the situation is.
All right, I'm going to stay in the broadcast then, because apparently that's not a good idea. One question I had, Derek, is from Ben Gummery, who is actually in the UK, and he can't join us right now, but he was wondering, is there plans for a UK release for video on demand and Blu-ray combo?
Blu-ray combo is available right now, and I'm pretty sure the movie's available in the UK even as of now on VOD. It should be available on Amazon, Amazon, digital download. I know it's on Vimeo on demand. It's on Xbox. It's on Vudu. It's on a lot of those platforms worldwide right now. So, and the Blu-ray DVD combo pack ships worldwide. So yeah, it's available anywhere in the world via Blu-ray or VOD at the moment. And the Blu-ray pack comes with a DVD as well. It's just 2 for 1.
Right. Yeah, and he asked that about a week ago once he knew you were coming on. I don't know if there was any difference then or not, but absolutely. So
and they're all region, and both the discs are region free. So that means that anywhere in the world, if you buy it you'll be able to play it in your any region Blu-ray or DVD player. So that's good as well.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So all these people asking questions, I mean, I mentioned the UK, Chile, I mean, all over the world, people are asking questions. So, I mean, that's got to just be mind-blowing that you're reaching that many people.
It is. It's very strange. Today, when I was shipping a couple of the last remaining orders from the Indiegogo people who had not provided us an address, and now they have. There was one in Slovakia. There's ones we had a bunch from in the past from Sweden, Germany, all over the world, and it's incredible that. But it shows the amount of reach that Kane's career and Kane has, the kind of reach that his career can generate. I mean, and that's and I'm glad that our doc is being seen. It makes me very happy that our doc is being seen around the world and not just in one specific country.
All right, so Blake.
Yeah.
You got the spotlight, brother. Did you have anything to ask?
Well, he's pretty well explained everything very well and very effectively. Have you thought about doing any other documentaries like this in the same kind of format for any other horror icons? I mean, it's obviously Kane's is going to be a huge success and already is, and congratulations on that. It's spectacular. I'm nothing but the best for you, brother. I'm just really proud of what you've done, and I was just curious if there's going to be anything else that you're doing as far as these documentaries are concerned for any other icons.
I'm not sure if he even heard you. Derek, were you able to hear him?
I did not. What did he get? If you tell me, I'll answer for sure.
He dropped out.
I swear it's not my end, Joe. My end is good. The storm has passed.
I'm thinking he just doesn't like you. I'm kidding.
Okay, I see. Blake isn't frozen anymore. Good. Perfect.
Okay, you can see Blake now?
Yeah, I can see him.
Okay. Blake, say something. Let's see if he can hear you.
Can you hear me, Derek?
Yes, I can.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I was saying I'm really proud of the success you've had with this. It's far-reaching, and I wish nothing but the best for you, brother. I hope we get a chance to do a show or something real soon and get a chance to meet in person. But I was curious as to if you're going to try to do this again with maybe another horror icon. The layout and the production value is just spectacular, and I think it lends itself well to others. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it's definitely on my. It's on my list. A large chunk of the budget for this film was achieved, pretty much the entire budget by private investors. So until those guys are paid back, though, I'm just waiting on that. I'm waiting on the hopefully first, assuming it does well and even keeps going well, and hopefully the first chunk of checks will pay for the investors back, and then we can jump back into. I have a bunch of ideas, but until something's signed in the stone, I don't want to say anything, obviously. But I am working on I did produce a film. Andrew and I, both the producers on this, produced a film called They're Inside, which is a horror thriller film about two sisters who go with their friends to a house in the woods to film a movie that the sister wrote. And then things start not going well, but it wouldn't be much of a movie if things did go well. So, I mean, it's definitely it's what I'm very proud of. I just watched it. It's in the tail end of post-production. I just watched the latest, pictures locked, effects are done. It's just a little bit of sound design that's being tweaked, and it is amazing. It's a film that I'm very proud of, and hopefully will be in a narrative that'll hopefully be in festivals soon. And I'm working on a narrative short, a few other ideas as well for projects. It's just kind of which one of a future project, which one gets going the fastest. And I want to make sure that I get a person for the next one that has a story that's just as intriguing as Kane's is, whether it's in the horror community or elsewhere. I want to make sure it's something that can appeal to the horror and the non-horror community. But that was a very good question. I mean, I'm definitely I'm pretty much open to anything. I just love working. I love being able to make these projects, and I'm just a passionate filmmaker, and I'm very happy that I was able to make this movie, and hopefully I can do another one real soon, because these things are real labor of love. They take a long time, but the reaction has made it all worth it. Plus, I'm very proud of the movie. I think it's rare when a filmmaker for their first feature can stand behind the work and say, obviously, I'm going to get.
That wasn't my fault.
Did I lose you guys? What just happened?
Nope. I'm not sure if I'm a little confused on what just happened myself.
Okay. All right. All I was saying was it obviously, as a filmmaker, I'm hoping to keep growing and getting even better. Because if you're not growing as a filmmaker, then you're doing something wrong. But at the same point, I feel like I'm always going to be able to look at this project with pride and know it's that we made something great. And I'm very happy that it's been affecting people the way it has.
Awesome.
Absolutely, and it's had a profound effect. I worked in the horror industry. I did a movie, I did some screenwriting work, and I moved over to the composing side, and I liked it. Throughout your documentary, you talk about those aspects. Those aspects are talked about by Kane, like going to do extras work, in the first film that he did in the mid 70s, and all that stuff. I think that the stories lend themselves well, and I like the format, and it really hit home for me because I come from a similar background that Kane came from, as far as the bullying. I had some things going on at home, and I broke myself away from that to work in the horror industry, and I've never looked back. The horror industry got me through a lot of really dark times, and doing 4 books, and doing screenwriting work, and doing acting, and doing composing. I've always had this intense love for film, and it's always taken me to a place I've always wanted to go, and made me forget about the places I didn't want to be. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for you and for Kane and for anybody else that wants to tell those stories, because those most oftentimes are the stories that are not told. And those are important. Joe has been nagging at me to tell my story for some time about my history, my career, and I love the way that you did that with Kane, and it kind of makes me a tad bit on the jealous side. I'd love to get involved with a project like that. I love the layout. I love the musical cues that you used, the interviews from the other people in the industry, pictures, people hadn't seen before, the accident, the burning and the accident. And it was really poignant. There was something for everybody. There was, emotional things for people that it tugs on your heartstrings. And then there are people that love it just to talk about the movies. And people love the stuff where they show scenes and the descriptions. There's something for everybody in this documentary, and I think it's probably one of the most special ones that I've ever seen. And I've worked in the business many years, and it takes I really am just impressed with what you've done with it. I think that it's great work, and you and Kane make a great team, and I'm proud of what you guys have done. So all the best to you, my brother.
Thanks. I hope to be able to keep working with Kane as well on projects in the future. Him and I are talking about a potential one now, and in early talks about another, because we really did have a great time working together and love seeing each other at events. And I'm hoping to start doing more conventions. I've been in touch with a few, trying to get out there just to be like, hey, listen, we'll do a screening, we'll do a signing, we can do a party about the fact the movie's out. I feel like if we get Kane and I there and do an event around it, we can not only sell a large chunk of discs in one sitting, but I think it's sort of a no-brainer to a convention, in my opinion, to want to take the very modest expense to get me out there in order to do a screening and event all around it, because it'll get butts.
West Palm Beach or Miami. Repeat, West Palm Beach or Miami.
Yeah, I keep talking to Kane. I keep saying to him, if he is able to I want to come to Days of Dead Chicago. I really do. I keep talking to the people and just saying, listen, everybody else here is asking for, not everybody, but a lot of the horror icons, have a rider of sorts that they're asking for, which they've justifiably earned over the amount of time. I'm literally like, just throw me on a plane, get me there, get me to the hotel, put me up in a room. I'm fine. Like, I can do everything else. I just want to be there for the fans. I just want to meet people. I just want to promote the movie that I love. And so I'm hoping that some of them will grant me the opportunity to come out there and get, in my opinion, get butts in seats, because I know we can get people into that screening room to watch it. I know we can get people excited about the discs, especially if both Kane and I are there. It definitely lends itself.
Absolutely. I've got a convention. I've got a couple of appearances coming up soon. I'd love to get you on to the one that I'm doing in well, if there was time, I'd love to get you to the one I'm doing in August at a CreepyCon in Knoxville. Kane has been out to Nashville and to the Knoxville area, in that general area, quite a bit, and I'm doing a signing there on my new book with some of the props and stuff that I have. And I'd love to see you guys on there, but anywhere you get in the Mid-South or South, let me know. I'd certainly like to be a part and come out and support you guys.
Is that your new book behind you, that Behind the Screams?
That is, yes, sir. It's a book on the making of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and I'm working on it with Mick Strawn, who was production designer on Nightmare 3, 4, and he did the series, the show. He worked with Kane on Leatherface, so him and Kane are good friends. And man, we just love to get you on some of those, and it'd be really great just to see you.
Is the book out yet or no?
The book has gone to press. The book will be out in probably another couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but it's unlike anything anybody's ever seen, man.
I definitely want to add it to my collection. I am a huge fan of horror in general, and Elm Street movies are definitely a part of that. Although I think a lot of fans would be weirded out that I also like Elm Street. Kane's a huge Freddy Krueger fan as well. In fact, he almost played Freddy Krueger. He had a meeting with Wes, and we talk about that in the film. So I think that being passionate about horror, I can like every franchise that exists if I want to. And I do. I think Nightmare movies,
absolutely.
I think Robert Englund did something with that character that is very unique. And Kane did something with Jason and Victor that's very unique. And neither one of them could have played the characters the same way. And that's exactly what you want. You want people like that and that's why both of them are icons, because both of them are the ones who made these roles iconic.
Absolutely. And thank you very much for the kind words, and I'll be sure to let you know when the book comes out. I really appreciate that. But I'd love to see you at some more of these. I've got a couple more that I'm doing in September and October, and I'd love to see you get on down here, because Tennessee, Nashville, a lot of the local areas, have got horror stuff. Kane has been out to Nashville several times, and I believe Sid Haig and Bill Moseley have too. But he knows the area pretty well. And then maybe I can talk, get on to Las Vegas, man. So
reach out to them and just see if the conventions are open to extending the invite to us. And if they are, we can get in touch with them and get hopefully get booked on some more shows, because I would love to be able to be out there and promoting this film anywhere around the world, because since the discs are available everywhere, and that they can play everywhere, it's not like I have to get a different manufacturer to make ones just for London. If Kane's doing a show in London and they want to bring me out there, I can just ship a box of the discs to London. I don't have to worry about making anything special for the convention. Just showing
right. Down here below, if I may.
Of course.
From Danny.
Sure.
Come to the Days of the Dead Chicago. If they'll have me, if they'll have Kane and I'll go for sure. I love Chicago. Chicago's like a mini Manhattan. It's a great city.
And got another one from Brian Working from Shockworks TV.
There aren't enough horror docs out there, so I'm looking forward to what you have to. Well, thank you. I want to keep making documentaries. I'm early stages. I know Adam Green and I announced it, but it's still pretty early. We're doing the Holliston documentary together, documentary on the creation of that show, sort of the Rocky of horror documentaries, in that it's sort of like a guy who's achieving all the success in the rest of his career, but all he wants to do is bring this TV show to fruition. So I think that it's definitely a film that I feel like people can get behind and be excited about knowing more about Adam's story. And when everything went right, when the show finally hit, he experienced some pretty major downs all at the same point. And this film will explore the start, the creation, the ups, the downs, and everything. And I'm excited to do that one. But again, like I said, it's kind of in the early stages still, and other projects are even earlier stages. The next thing I'm working on that I know 100% will be, other than They're Inside, is a short film that I'm writing, directing, and producing. Hopefully next in September. I'm hoping to get to film it pretty soon because I want to get something else being made as a director, because soon They're Inside is going to be done. So I'm not going to have any projects that are very far along in production or pre-production even. So I want to get moving on something else and have a reason to go back out to the film festivals, back to conventions, and promote and constantly keep the energy going with all this stuff.
Well, it's funny that you should, well, not funny that you should say that, but there was a question offline about 4 or 5 days ago, and they wanted to know what your advice would be to aspiring filmmakers. Anything you could suggest, schools or?
Yeah, well, I went to Full Sail University, which is down in Florida, in Winter Park, which is right by Orlando. But honestly, what school gave me was a nice background in production. I knew what the equipment was. I knew how to do layouts. I knew how to do a lot of this stuff. And a lot of the people that worked on this film were from that school, or at least a lot of the people I met at that school when I graduated. So it was able to get me connected with a nice group of people. And in filmmaking, since it's such a collaborative industry, a lot of it's who you know, and not only who you know, but like how well connected you guys are. So in this one, for instance, my director of photography, Zach Hunter, he and I were Full Sail classmates and friends, and we've known each other for so long that I can say something like, I don't know, it's just not working. I need a little more cinematic. And he was able to translate in his director of photography brain and go, aha, I know exactly what that is. Let's do this. Let's move these lights around. Let's change the depth of field, all that kind of stuff, and deliver a movie that, because I wanted something that, since we did have a theatrical run, both at film festivals and with Dread Center Presents, I wanted something that could go to film festivals and be in 4K on the big screen and be cinematic and beautiful. And that's what we got with this documentary versus, I think, some other docs tend.
I didn't do that. I'm going to bring him back.
All right, where did it cut out? You know where it cut out? No? Okay. So I'm going to go with, because, we had such a great collaborative relationship, we were able to make a simple phrase and kind of, I trusted that he was going to deliver what I wanted. So I think that some of the best advice I have is, make content, even if it isn't good, even if you're not going to show anybody, make some content. It'll teach you a lot as well. I made a short that is, I hate it. I hate that short film, but it was after film school and it taught me about just as much as film school did in a couple of days as opposed to 2 years, full years. So I think film school is a great foundation, but then make a project, just do it. Make a project and see what strengths you have and what weaknesses you have, and use something that doesn't matter as much to teach you those elements, so that when it came time to make this film, I knew everything I'd never do again on set and everything I wanted to focus on. And part of it was learning to focus. Like, as a director, as a producer, wearing hats, you should only wear so many hats at once. On the short, I wore like every hat. On the feature, while I was on set, I directed. The minute we cut, I could talk to my producer about producing aspects and stuff as well. But I never worried about that while I was directing Kane, interviewing him, etc. I focused on directing while I was there. And then off screen, I was the assistant editor, I produced, I dealt with a lot of the other aspects, but I always made sure to focus while I was on set, focus while I was in watching the film that as director, and then be able to wear these other hats when the time came, was right for it.
So another question that was offline. Wow, are we getting feedback now? Sorry about that. Who are your biggest influences?
For filmmaking. All right.
For filmmaking.
Let me think. Well, Spielberg is definitely an influence in general. I mean, Jaws is my favorite movie of all time.
Nice.
It really is. It's been my favorite since I was like a kid, and it hasn't really gone away. John Carpenter obviously has made some amazing movies over the years, between The Thing, In the Mouth of Madness, Halloween, just to name a few. He is definitely a master of horror. And Wes Craven with Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and so many other great People Under the Stairs. He's another one that's made some amazing projects. But very recently, in the scheme of things, I would say Adam Green's probably the newest filmmaker that definitely inspires me and pushes me forward, which is why it's crazy to me that him and I are collaborating, and our colleagues he was in this film quite a bit, and him and I are collaborating on that new one that we're hoping to get going. So, I never met Adam as a fan because I wanted to meet him for the first time as a colleague. And that's why I'm so happy that we were able to do him on this movie, because obviously him and Kane are very good friends, and he had so much to say because the Hatchet movies, Frozen, Chillerama, all that stuff is such a big part of Kane's career.
Awesome. That is a great answer. Blake, you got any more questions for him, sir?
Blake is frozen.
I think he's pretty well answered. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. Other questions? I think Derek ran the gamut on the questions.
I wasn't sure if you still had a pulse or not.
I appreciate him coming on.
Right on.
I'm still yes, yeah.
One thing I would like to do, Derek, is now's the time to plug and promote whatever you got going on, your social media pages, links, anything?
Yeah, well, epic-pictures.com. You can go to buy To Hell and Back on Blu-ray, DVD, a combo pack everywhere. It's available on VOD everywhere that VOD is available now, worldwide. It's KaneHotterMovie.com. We have a lot of perks, including things to buy, merch, including machetes, signed hockey masks, signed machetes. Those are signed too. Signed pocket knives with certificates of authenticity. We have patches. We have T-shirts featuring Kane, Victor Crowley, and Jason. Then our social media is at Masterfully M on Twitter, at Masterfully Macabre on Instagram, and Masterfully Macabre Entertainment on Facebook. And I'm everywhere as Derek D. Herbert on Instagram and Twitter. So I definitely feel like follow us, support us. If you are intrigued by the story, buy it legally, please. It's reasonable cost on VOD. It's only $9.99.
You know what? I have to interrupt for 1 second, and that brings up a valid point for independent films. Buy it legally. Don't get it from a torrent site. Help out the director, the developers, everybody. All you're doing is, if you get it illegally, you're not going to get these movies anymore, is what it boils down to.
Exactly. If people don't support us and spend the money to show that they like these kind of movies, no one's going to buy them. Or they're not going to pay to make them if they don't think anyone wants them. So I feel like I am am really big on making it available, and that's why I'm happy that Dread Central Presents and Rob Galuzzo and his team were able to get us on a ton of VOD platforms. So if you're like, hey, I want to watch this at home, a lot of providers, you can get it right through VOD. Providers like through a cable channel or through iTunes, through Amazon, through Vudu, through Xbox. So if you want it, it's most of them are $9.99 to buy it, but if you really, for $10 more, I still am strongly urging people to get the physical copy. Not only can you bring it later on to a convention and have Kane sign it, if you.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Yep. Let me bring him back. There he is. So I'm just curious. May I ask you something? What did you do something prior to knock yourself out? Because I'm not doing it on my end, and I'm curious because I got to learn this program. Did you hit refresh or something?
For me, are you talking to?
Yeah. Yes.
No, I did nothing.
Did nothing, and it knocked you down.
Anything, and it knocks me out, which is good right now because Blake was frozen again for me. So now I can see him again and hear him. So that's good. But it could be partially me. My internet isn't always it's like very fast, amazing internet. And then occasionally we'll just completely stop letting any kind of internet through. So it happens when I'm watching something on a streaming site or doing stuff like that. Every once in a while, it just like stops and makes it go back to like the main menu and stuff. So it may not be the program. It may be on my end, but I've been trying to troubleshoot the internet for a while, but I just, it's all about, buy the movie legally and, if you see us coming to a show, Kane's going to start having them at his conventions very soon. We're getting Kane hooked up with a box so that he can start making sure he always has them at conventions. I'm trying to get out to more of them so that I can promote the film because I am very proud of it. And I think that when I'm there and when Kane's there together, our energy can help move this movie even more versus if it's just, us talking, like if it's just on a table somewhere, it's going to do well because people like Kane. But if we're there upselling it, it's even more, there's an even higher chance, I think, that it'll do very well.
I absolutely agree. Blake, where can we find you on social media? Blake,
all over the place.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Social media, where can we find you, sir?
Are you talking to me, Joe?
I am talking to you.
Okay. You can find me. I've got an official Instagram, the Blake Best Official. You can find all the stuff about the book, all the conventions and stuff I'm doing there. I've got Twitter, Blake Best 1428, because what better place is there to be than 1428 Elm Street, right? And then I've got a Facebook page, my official author, it's Blake Best Horror. And then, of course, you can find me on the Behind the Screams, Dream Masters Revealed official Facebook page, and just all over. Joe, you know all my links. If Derek's got any questions or needs to know where to go, you can direct him. There's just this delay. I can hear you, everything else in my headset, and it's a little disconcerting. So.
All right, fair enough. Derek, we're going to go one more time. Social media, where can we find you?
At Masterfully M on Twitter, at Masterfully Macabre on Instagram, Masterfully Macabre Entertainment on Facebook, and then for me personally, at Derek D. Herbert on Twitter and Instagram, and Derek Dennis Herbert on Facebook. Twitter and Instagram are definitely the stronger ones to connect with me. I don't always accept all friend requests on Facebook just because I use it for non-business stuff as well. But if it's important for the movie or anything like that, it's going to get shared to our at Masterfully Macabre Entertainment page on Facebook, or I'm going to be sharing it on Twitter and Instagram as well through my account or through Masterfully Macabre. So I feel like it's definitely it's going to be if you want to follow us, there are plenty of ways to do so. And a lot of the information is going to be the same, but every once in a while we do something cool for Instagram, like a cool GIF or a night or a small video or something unique to Twitter or Facebook. Like this, for instance, so far is only available. I've only promoted it on Facebook because that's where it was live. But as soon as there's a video, that's going to go get launched to, Facebook or Instagram and Twitter as well.
I had a late comment that I just have to post because it's kind of true.
We need 80s scary movies back. The old school CGI sucks. Yeah. I agree that, CGI is a tool that is a very effective one if used correctly, and very ineffective if used poorly. And I always think that CGI, if it was around back then, I think they would have used it better than we do now, because there's so many tools that they had then. But I love practical effects. In this film we produced there inside, we used an amazing practical effects company, Soda Effects, who did like the Death House effects, and they did effects in so many other, like Children of the Corn, and like so many other great movies. And I definitely feel like there's nothing like practical effects, but sometimes it's cheaper to do an effect digitally based on a budget. If you're going to do it, though, I would definitely recommend planning for it, knowing what you want, and making sure that you spend the time and energy to do it the right way. Because a lot of times the Thing remake comes to mind, where they had amazing animatronics and prosthetics designed and then covered them up with pretty bad CGI. I don't like that idea, but if they were to take the effects they had made and added a little more blood or a little more tentacles or something to it, that's when it becomes, okay, that makes sense. Like Hatchet movies didn't use any CGI, but if they had used a tiny, tiny bit to do some element, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. I think it's about using it as a tool and not the only tool. There's still miniatures, there's still practical effects, there's still prosthetics, there's all that stuff. But if you can do something with CGI you can't do with one of them, or you can do better with CGI, do it. But I agree with the general consensus of that comment, which is it is way too overused. And I feel the style of 80s movies were really cool as well. And I think that's why, Hatchet movies are a love letter to the old school style of movies. And I love that franchise. All four of them are proud in my collection. And we delve into 3 of the 4 into Hell and Back, primarily because the 4th one was only being shot at the tail end of post-production and was not announced until the day before we premiered Hell and Back in London for the first time. We saw it the second screening ever and the first officially announced screening of Victor Crowley.
Nice.
With Adam Green and Kane Hodder, because they were both there to promote that, and also to both there to Hell and Back as well.
Very cool. All right, gentlemen, we are going to be signing off. And one more time, Derek, where can we find you?
At Derek D. Herbert on Instagram and Twitter, Derek Dennis Herbert on Facebook, at Masterfully M on Twitter, at Masterfully Macabre on Instagram, and Masterfully Macabre Entertainment on Facebook, as well as KaneHodderMovie.com. And if you want to buy the physical edition, epic-pictures.com, or you can go on any major VOD platform and you find it there worldwide. And
I will have the link connected to this. And Blake, we're signing off. What do you got, brother?
Thank you so much for coming on, Derek. Sorry for all the static and the delays, but it was very enjoyable. I appreciate you coming on, and be sure and reach out and touch base and talk to me. I sent you a couple of emails the other day, and I know you're a busy man just like me. In a minute, just shoot me a friend request or something. We talk and catch up and all that, and I'll see what I can do about talking to some of those conventions and see if maybe I can be in some of those areas you're going to be. Okay.
All right, gentlemen, we are signing off. If you could hang out for about 30 seconds afterwards, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just a couple of more things I'm just throwing up as they're coming in, and we are going out. Again, I am Joe Ridgely from Technical Defects. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think that's about it. So everybody have a great evening. Thank you for joining us.
History deleted.